I have severe PTSD. When I was first diagnosed with it, there was pretty much nothing about it out there. And the specialist I went to was, oh, put a rubber band around your wrist. And when you feel like you're going into a PT, just snap the rubber band. Really?
Marina Anderson, if I asked you to tell your life as a movie, where does it begin? It gives a lot of people hope who are in like some dark marriages, or maybe they are going through a lot in the relationships, and then they need to see like it's normal.
You cannot fix it, whether it's whatever kind of abuse or addiction or whatever. They have to want to do it themselves enough to do it themselves. Yeah. And then as soon as I started backing off and pulling back energy into myself, that's when things really fell apart.
Big dreams don't come quietly. They demand risk. They demand fire. They demand transformation. Welcome to The Corporate Life, Billion-Dollar Conversations. Hosted by Hina Siddiqui, CEO and founder of Corporate Influence Media, creator of Capital Stage Credibility Positioning, 4-time Global Award winner, featured across more than 700 global outlets, and heard in 94 countries. Join us as we sit with tech CEOs, multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs, and leading investors, the people building what's next. Here, success isn't a headline. It's a human story. The turning points, reinventions, failures, breakthroughs, and bold decisions that change everything. Because every life is a movie, and you're the star of yours.
A lot of us know Hollywood from the outside. Marina Anderson lived it from the inside. An actress, author, and a woman who shared life with iconic actor David Carradine, Marina saw the glamour, the pressure, the illusion, and the private cost of public life. But this story is not about fame. It's about what happens when life becomes a tornado, and you have to find the eye of it. Through her book, The Eye of My Tornado, Marina tells a deeper story about identity, love, chaos, and survival. Today, we talk about what the world sees and what it never does. This is Marina Anderson, and this is her movie. Marina Anderson, if I asked you to tell your life as a movie, where does it begin?
Oh my gosh. When I was a little girl, well, yeah, I think, who we are now at this point in our life, wherever your life is, it really does start with your childhood, what influences it had on you and impacted you at that time, and how children are impacted with certain maybe traumas, great experiences, whatever. And that brings us to who we are current day. So, that's, I'm a combination of all of that. And I think we all are to different degrees.
Yeah. So how was your childhood like?
I thought I had a really good childhood, but, as children, they don't know any different sometimes. So as you get older, you kind of look back and go, well, wait a minute, that really wasn't a very healthy family. And maybe that was dysfunction, wasn't that? Oh, that's abuse. So it can kind of creep up on you in later years. So things like that definitely had a huge influence on me. And I came into the knowing, I guess you'd say, as I got older. But learning how to fix that or correct that, because when you go into a pattern and you're in a pattern, like you attract the same kind of people and relationships, it stems from somewhere. So you really have to examine that and ask yourself, why did that come up again? And why is that person the same kind of personality in my life again? And it's a lot of self-realization, a lot of homework to do, and some of it's painful and grueling. And it's because you got to get to the core of the matrix and how to change it and get the tools to know how to change that. So thank goodness for the internet being born, because there's so much information out there to help people with things like that. PTSD. I have severe PTSD. When I was first diagnosed with it, there was pretty much nothing about it out there. And the specialist I went to was, oh, put a rubber band around your wrist. And when you feel like you're going into a PT, just snap the rubber band. Really? So I've come a long way. Pardon me, a little froggy today, a little furball.
It's interesting you said that we keep meeting the same kind of people, same kind of circumstances when we don't understand why is it showing up. In fact, this shows up because we need to learn that lesson, or until we heal ourselves, the lesson and the
Right,
people, the circumstances will keep on repeating.
right, right. Um, and there's, a consistent theme for me is to defend the underdog. Most people I find, not only they don't stand up for themselves, let alone other people. And I'm usually the one to go, I've got your back. I'm out there. And then I've many times, including currently, I'm the only one out there. It's like, wait a minute, what happened to everybody? I'm helping you. So where did you disappear to? So yeah, it's been a very interesting journey as far as that's concerned.
Yeah. So, what does it actually feel like to live a public life, especially when your partner is the one in the spotlight? You were married to the famous actor of Hollywood, David Carradine.
Yeah.
Carradine.
That it was as I wrote in my book, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I had been around Hollywood pretty much all my life because my mother was a contract singer at Warner Brothers, and she continued singing. My dad was a musician, but he went into aerospace. And pardon me, my granduncle was a producer. He produced the Randolph Scott Westerns and other productions. And so I had that around me. And then I discovered I had a cousin who, Ray Evans, he wrote the lyrics to Silver Bells, Mona Lisa, Que Sera, Sera. I mean, four Oscars on his mantle. So in that sense, I was comfortable around people who had names. I was constantly being introduced and just walking through Beverly Hills, running into celebrities. So when I met David, that didn't really have an influence on me. What had an influence on me was the vulnerability and the little boy quality about him. So when we, started our relationship, yeah, I actually kind of found it amusing. I could take a little seat back and see how people reacted around a celebrity and to be close to a star. And it's just, it was a very interesting experience. And I even went to the recently the Hollywood autograph show, and I had a chance to re-meet like Joan Collins, who I had a scene with in Dynasty when I did the show, and that. But it's like, that my friends. I don't look at it any different, but a lot of people do. They put these people on pedestals, and they're just people. They have normal lives, but we forget that sometimes. And you have to remember they're just people. So,
Do you think is this world more empowering or more exposing?
what's more empowering, being a celebrity?
Is this world, the fame world, is it more empowering or more exposing?
Well, certainly now with the way media is, it's more exposing because there's a lot of money involved to expose celebrities in their private lives and personal details. And that's, I don't feel that's right. Empowering, being celebrities, they get free this, free that, travel. I mean, there's a lot of perks to being a celebrity, and going to premieres or whatever, and they loan you clothes and they loan the jewelry. I mean, that's all lovely. That goes with the territory. So in a way, that's empowering. But they can also use their voice for causes, organizations, and help empower others. And that's I think a positive use of it. So yeah, it is empowering. Yeah.
Yeah. They get a lot of love from people, and sometimes this love seems to be suffocating their lives, because then they are not left with their private life, because everybody wants to get into their private life and know what's going on.
Right. They want to get into the private life. They want to have a little piece of the action. A lot of people who are creative, either they don't want to or they don't have the mindset to deal with finances and the business aspect. So there's a trust factor involved there. And, you just go online and, who's been ripped off by business managers and things like that. So that's unfortunately the evil side of the whole thing. It's an awareness. I do a lot of acting coaching from 3-year-olds to adults. And I make sure, especially the parents, because they're bringing their children into this business. And there's a lot of not so good people in the business. And so I'm trying to empower them from what I learned. And I know it's getting across because I get a lot of thank yous and, things like that. So, and that's, I think, part of my mission of doing all this is to get out there and pay it forward and help other people to learn from my experience, because I'm going through this for a reason, and that's got to be one of them. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So you have been inside this industry and you have seen everything very closely. What are the insecurities people don't talk about?
well, they're talking about it more, especially with women, our looks as we age. And you see, especially the events and the red carpets, I maybe out of 30 women that I've seen on the red carpet, maybe 3 or 4 have not had anything done, and you can tell. And it's the pressure to remain young looking and youthful, which is fine, but not if you feel pressured to do it or not accepted, or it kind of brings me back to, I just say I'm a late bloomer. I considered myself an ugly duckling when I grew up. I mean, I think I look nice now. I had my nose straightened. I mean, I'm bored with stuff. I had my breast implants removed because they're toxic. Do research, people. And so I never really considered myself one of those, like, that men would goggle over or something of they often do. And so I approach things in a different way, more on the personality and being funny or trying to, and like the best buddy of people, the guys. And so I don't know. It's just, I think it's unfair to women because men can slide by real easy and go gray. When I went gray, when I got silver, I stopped getting submitted for, 40s of late 50s. They were submitting me for 70, 80-year-old roles in commercials. I don't know about you, but I'm like, I don't think I fall into that category. So it's just like, it's a Twilight Zone, gaslight kind of a thing. It's like, what? It's just crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I get it. Yeah. And it's okay to age gracefully, right? We would not be 20 years forever, right? We would age. That's the
Right.
fact. That's
Right. It's but that's the first thing they see is your face, and that's, you say you make an impression that way, but you got to keep everything else up, especially spiritually.
yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I look in the mirror and go, you know what? I wonder how much that plastic surgeon would charge for that. Haven't done the yet, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah. You have written a book about your life with your husband, and the title is interesting, right? Would you like to talk a bit about your book?
Well, David Carradine, The Eye of My Tornado. I named it that because David had a odd sense of humor, and just his nature is that he's the eye of the tornado or the storm, and everything is swirling around him. And he would often create situations just to see people's reactions and to get a rise out of people. So I went, that's the name of the book. David Carradine, The Eye of My Tornado. So I wrote about our relationship, what we went through, the climb and the struggles, him as a human being, not just a celebrity, because I do talk about sexual abuse and incest. And there is a verbatim interview chat that I had with Dr. Drapinski. And it was a healing epiphany for me. So that alone, I hope people, read the book for that. But there's a lot of information about Hollywood, how it works, divorce, and the emotional process to go through. Again, one of my aims was to help other people from my experience and to learn from. And there's some really, really wonderful, amazing stories at the end from people who work with David and whatnot. So I think it's a well balanced. It's not a trash book. It's not a derogatory thing. It's the truth. And I'm all for speaking the truth.
Yeah. So it's about, I think, the glimpse that I had about at the book on Amazon. It talks a bit about the shady sides, dark sides of Hollywood and the industry. Is that true? Like, this is what my first impression as I looked into the first 10% of the book, like the content.
Yeah, it's a truthful from my experience and from what I've encountered, because I worked production for many years. Makeup. I was Yoko Ono in makeup artist for a couple of years. And she's wonderful, in spite of what the fans out there say. She was a wonderful person. So I've seen all sides of it, not just being somebody on camera. There is a very dark side to Hollywood, in the sense there are a lot of people who take advantage of others. Like I said, business managers, whatever. And you just have to be aware of that. There's some, I always tell people, when I'm coaching, because they're non-union, to call Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, and ask them if this agent is franchised, ask them what percentage they're allowed to take, and blah, 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 blah. Don't just take it from me. Do your research, do it yourself, so you can find out for yourself. Do research, people. Just don't take what somebody says to you.
Yes.
Just don't blindly believe somebody. That's just a big, huge word of advice.
Yeah. People are in the habit of making assumptions more than actually getting into the facts and get it right.
Right. And just because you see it in the media doesn't make it correct.
Yes.
That's all I'll
I
say
agree.
about that right now, without getting too political. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not always correct.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Your life looks
But
like
in the
a roller
industry,
coaster. Yeah. Sorry.
I was just saying, it's, if that's what you want to do and get into the entertainment business, go for it. There's so many avenues to do your own podcast, to do your own YouTube, it's a wonderful adventure out there to get creative.
Yeah.
Like, do it.
Yeah. That's interesting. So, Marina, when you look back at that chapter of your life, at that phase of your life, do you have any regrets?
You mean my relationship with David,
Just
or just
overall.
overall? I probably would do the same things that I did, pretty much. But yeah, because I don't like injustice. I'm a Libra. So I find it very difficult to turn my back on something that I feel is unjust, especially when I know somebody's not, telling the truth about and messing with people. I don't go for that. So I doubt if I would change that. I think I've accomplished a lot, and if I change something, would that change the outcome and my experiences? So I probably would keep it the same.
Yeah.
In spite of all the stuff.
Yeah. We are who we are today because of all the kind of experiences we have had, good or bad.
Right. Good and bad. It's who we are. And what's the song? Is it with Kelly Clarkson? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Or that saying is true. You forge the steel and you get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I just went through a recent small claims experience in suing the defendants, and it did not go my way. And now I'm learning from other sources what could have been different or changed. And it's another insight, right? So you take that experience and what you learn from it and pay that forward and help other people so they don't fall into that mistake, or they can maybe triumph. So
Right.
Yeah.
Marina, you have experienced both being in Hollywood yourself and being married to someone very well known. Which one comes with more pressure?
Not so much I felt pressure from Hollywood per se, because that's just like a blob out there. There was a lot of pressure within the marriage relationship because, David had, some demons going there, including alcohol. He was very public about it in his book and in my book. So that was a huge challenge to deal with. Took a lot of energy, just handling the relationship of the marriage and shifting the emphasis on me and my career over into his, because there was a lot of damage control to do. And I said to myself, well, I'm in this relationship that's reflecting on me, definitely, because I had some things happen where I didn't get a couple opportunities because they knew I had moved in with David and he didn't have a good reputation at that point when we were doing Kung Fu Legend Continues. After he got sober, I really worked my buns off to change that. And it did. And he did. And then it went better. Can't say it was a smooth ride by any means, but it went better because he was gaining back his reputation and respect, and the marriage was going better. And then it took a left turn and tanked. So
Yeah. It's so sweet of you to sharing all that so openly, because it actually helps a lot of people. It gives a lot of people hope who are in some dark marriages, or maybe they are going through a lot in the relationships, and then they need to see it's normal, and normal as in that you need to walk your demons through. Everybody has some challenges that we are
everybody has them.
Yes.
Right. It's to what degree. And the one thing to impart on everybody out there, one of the major lessons I learned was you cannot fix the other person.
Absolutely.
They have to want to do
100%
it
agree with that.
themselves. And naively me, I thought at the time I could fix this. And I just about burned myself out trying to do it. And then, it comes that epiphany light bulb that, wow, okay, yeah, that wasn't the best thing for me to do. And then as soon as I started backing off and pulling back energy into myself, that's when things really fell apart, because he was used to having everything done for him. And, it's that pull and push of power control kind of thing. And so, yeah, you cannot fix it, whether it's whatever kind of abuse or addiction or whatever. They have to want to do it themselves enough to do it themselves. Yeah. You can be there and be their cheerleader and support. Absolutely. But bottom line is, it's them. So that was really hard for me to learn.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I resonate with you. I have played that role for quite a long time in my life too, fixer. And then I learned that hard way that you cannot fix anybody. You cannot live somebody else's life.
Right. Right. So when we divorced, I really had to kind of recreate my life, because I was everything for David. And it was like, whoa, where's Marina? So, so I did all sorts of things. And as far as, to earn money, keep my insurance. And some of it was not what I wanted to do, but it was, I got to do it, and it was a good experience. I've longtime friends, specifically to keep my insurance. I went to do background work and stand-in work. And there was a director that I guest starred for on a show in Toronto that was the director of this particular TV show I was background on. Background means an extra, like you see them in the background. And I thought, oh God, I can't let them see. Oh God, I'm going to hide. So I went around the corner and I thought, oh, I'm safe now, because I could go into like Crafty where they have the food, and I hear this voice, Marina, like, and so I go, hey, it's good to be you here. And so we got to talking, and it was like, hey, you know what? I'm having a hard time finding work too. I wish I could find something like doing background stuff, and we got to talking. It was like a little bonding moment. So it turned into something really good. And ever since then, I had this attitude of, hey, I'm doing what I have to do. This is honorable. I'm meeting great people. It's great locations sometimes. And then I got my dog, my collie Lulu, to work with me. And she became a regular on Desperate Housewives and movies and whatnot. And they were great experiences. And dear friends of mine to this day because of all that. So, and if you ever watch Desperate Housewives, there's an episode where Carlos does the massage. I'm the guest star of the show, and you see these orgasmic feet. Those are mine. So just fun stuff, right? So yeah, it was fine. And then I got into creating my jewelry line and going back into production. And so just doing what I felt I wanted to do, where I was guided to do, to just find me again. And then I started coaching acting again. And so that's pretty much where I'm at now. And then publicity. So clients like Alan Parsons became dear friends. Oh, bless their hearts. I mean, they're just fabulous people. Frank Stallone, Don Most, Robbie Benson. I mean, Ed Begley Jr. So yeah, it's been really, really lovely.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Get ready for the ultimate challenge, this or that. Choose fast, trust your instincts, and let's go.
So now let's play a fun game, this or that. I'll give you two choices. You just need to pick one instinctively. That's a rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Okay.
Hollywood dream or Hollywood reality?
Hollywood dream.
Being in the spotlight or being married to someone who is?
Being in the spotlight.
Recognition or peace?
Peace.
Playing a role or being yourself?
Being myself.
Love or independence?
Love.
Control or surrender?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm kind of a control freak, but I'm learning to surrender.
Yeah.
To the higher power.
This is interesting. And most people struggle with that, I guess, because we are so much in the habit of controlling stuff that it's very hard for us to let go of things sometimes, a lot of times.
It's trust. There's trust there.
Yeah.
And in surrender, especially if you surrender to a higher power, it's called faith.
Yeah.
So that's, and that is, I think, currently what I'm being forged into this, from the experience into reconnecting with the faith and the surrender to the higher source.
Yeah. The last one, fame or freedom?
Freedom.
Interesting. And why?
Fame is actually kind of hollow, I think. Freedom, it's freedom.
Yeah, it's a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well played, Marina. Thank you for being spontaneous on this cycling. So now my next question. My next question to you is that where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What are you doing?
I'm in, well, I'm definitely with my two fur babies, and feeling independent, happy, and in a loving environment with friends with beautiful qualities, and just enjoying everything about life.
Yeah, interesting. Marina, what would you like to say to the people who are watching us right now or listening to us right now, if they are on the audio platforms?
I hope you got little takeaways from this chat. And if you ever want to entertain the idea of getting into the entertainment business, ring me up. And I just wish you empowerment. And remember, I have this from my jewelry. Women are all goddesses. We're born that way. Remember your inner power. It gives you wings to fly.
Yeah.
And men are Adonises with the same kind of, an affirmation to it.
Yeah. And for those who would like to follow the rest of your movie, how can they do that?
On Facebook. I am kind of on Instagram. Not really that into the major social media stuff, but I'm definitely contactable on Facebook, and my website, marinaanderson.com, or the mediahoundpr.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And read your book to know more about your life.
Amazon, it's on Barnes & Noble as well. David Carradine, The Eye of My Tornado.
Thank you for your time, Marina. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you. So nice to meet you. Me too.
Same here.
Thank you.
This is The Corporate Life. More stories, more insight, more truth. Until the next episode, stay curious. Don't forget to subscribe.